Let's talk about voice control in buildings. For most of us, it kind of feels like an unfulfilled promise, right? Well, today we're going to look at how we're moving past just turning on a light and actually giving a real voice to the entire building. And trust me, it's a huge leap. Okay, let's dive into this. And this is the question we all find ourselves asking. At home, it's awesome for playing music, but is it really enough to manage a professional environment? A hotel, an office, an entire building? The answer, up until now, has been a pretty clear no. And this is where we usually get stuck. Turning on a light, switching off an outlet. Those are just basic party tricks. They don't scale. They don't solve the real needs of a commercial space. It's this incredibly powerful technology, just trapped doing the simplest things. But what if we could just blow the roof off that? What if your voice became the command center for everything in a building? That's the idea we're going to explore right now. And the technology that makes it all possible is called Adquio VoiceLink for Alexa. But don't think of it as just another gadget. Think of it more like a universal translator, a bridge that finally connects human language with the professional control systems that already run our buildings. And this quote really sums it all up. What's so smart about this approach is that it's not trying to replace complex building management systems. Nope, it's enhancing them. It turns Alexa into this natural conversational layer that sits right on top of all the intelligence that's already there and working. Of course, hearing all this, you might be thinking that installing something so powerful has to be a technical nightmare. Well, you're in for a surprise. Let's take a look at how it's done, because it is way simpler than you'd think. It's really just 4 steps. You request access, you link your account to the official Adquio skill, you decide which devices and scenes you want Alexa to control, and that's it. In minutes, you're literally talking to your building. It's that simple. Okay, so it's activated. Now what? This is where we leave, turn on the light in the dust, and enter a universe of control that was pretty much unthinkable with voice before. We're not talking about the basics anymore. We're talking professional lighting, zoned climate control, blinds. You can even ask the building for energy consumption data. Everything that used to require a control panel or a specific app now responds to a single voice. Let's take lighting, for example. It's not just on or off anymore. It's set the lobby lights to 40%. That's precise control over zones, groups, or even individual light fixtures, whether it's DALI, Casambi, or any other system integrated with Adquio. Or think about climate control. Instead of walking over to a thermostat on the wall, you just say, Alexa, set meeting room 2 to 21 degrees. It's convenient, it's efficient, and it works for any zone your HVAC system can control. And it's the same thing with blinds and shades. A simple voice command can manage the natural light in a room, a classroom, or an entire facade, all without touching a single switch. But this is where it all comes together. With a single command like Activate Meeting Scene, the entire building coordinates. Lights dim, the temperature adjusts, the shades come down. It's the ultimate simplification of a complex action. So all of this sounds great, but what does it actually mean in practice for a business or a facility? Let's talk about the real value, the benefits you get without the usual headaches. The crucial point here is efficiency. You don't need construction or rewiring because it leverages what you already have. Deployment takes minutes. It unifies multiple manufacturers like Casambi, DALI, or Modbus under a single voice. And most importantly, it's secure because you have total control over what can and can't be done with your voice. And this number is key: 0. In most scenarios, you don't need to buy or install any additional hardware. If you already have an Adquio controller, you've got everything you need to get started. That just removes a massive barrier to entry. And this comparison really puts the change into perspective. On the right, you've got the usual chaos, a bunch of different apps, isolated systems that don't talk to each other. On the left, a unified, scalable platform. You're basically going from complexity to simplicity with a single bridge. So what do you actually need to get started? The list is short and sweet. An Adquio controller with an internet connection, an account on their app's platform, an Amazon account with an Alexa device, and of course, having the Adquio skill enabled. That's it. That's the whole list. And with that, we've come full circle. Technology isn't the barrier anymore. Total voice control for an entire building is no longer science fiction. It's an accessible reality. So the real question now is, are we ready to start having a conversation with our buildings? So the next time you walk into an office, a hotel, or any smart space, think about this. The environment around you might not just react to your presence, but actually listen to your words. The future of smart buildings might not be seen, but heard. Thanks for tuning in.